So in another 2 minutes? Okay, fine, no problem. You can connect him to the panelist link. Thank you.
One good move makes all the difference. The best way to predict future is to create it. Take a move. Create a future. Join Shobhit University. One good move makes all the difference. The best way to predict future is to create it. Take a move. Create a future. Join Shobhit University. One good move makes all the difference. The best way to predict future is to create it.
Good morning to the viewers of this international seminar on post-COVID-19, doubling farmers' income by 2022, ICE's Informatics Network Value Chain. Today, 22nd October 2020, organized by the Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology, a NAC accredited deemed to be university, Meerut. The Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies and the Center for Agribusiness Disaster Management Studies organizes every Thursday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. for a duration of about 2 hours. We are inviting distinguished scientists, technocrats, and bureaucrats, NGOs, and industry people to discuss on various issues related to doubling the farmers' income by 2022 with respect to income revolution. The today topic is the Spices Informatics Network Value Chain. It is a very important area, and we have very important, very distinguished scientist, Professor K.B. Peter, and Dr. Vikramaditya Pandey, Assistant Director General, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, Mr. Ale Bara, Executive Director, ECO, Noida, and Dr. K. Kandianan, Principal Scientist, ITEC Expert, Spices Production and Processing, Indian High Commission, SUA, Fiji. And this session will be chaired by the Honorable Chancellor, Honorable Sri Kanvarshekar Vijayendra, he will be joining at the end as the Honorable Member of Parliament, Meerut constituency, is visiting the university, and he is with him at this time. So the Honorable Chancellor will join at 12:30 p.m. today. To give the theme of the conference today is that national webinar on doubling farmers' income by 2022, Spices Informatics Network Value Chain. India is known for its spices not only because of the production quantum and the diverse range, but also because of their rich aroma, taste, and texture. India is a land of spices. The diverse climatic conditions, from tropical to subtropical to temperate, almost all spices grow splendidly in India. India has always been a key player in the spices trade and continues to be one of the primary origin for spices for the global market, and at the same time equally important to the domestic market and the largest consumer of its homegrown spices. Spices have also played a very important role in the economy of India, and that too during the COVID-19 time. We would like to, you know, bring in the various aspects of digital technology in agricultural sector, digital technology in 400 agriculture commodity value chain, and digital technology in smart rainfed farming, smart irrigated farming, smart tribal farming, smart agricultural resources information system, and smart farm health management system.
മീറ്റിംഗ് ഉണ്ടോ അവിടെ? അപ്പോൾ മീറ്റിംഗ് ഉണ്ട്. ഒന്ന് ചെല്ലു.
In view of this, today's today's conference is very important in view of the recent agricultural legislation pronounced on 5th June 2020 by the central government, which facilitates the farmers to get market prices, remunerative prices through e-commerce trade platform, and also the farming as a solution. The doubling the farmers' income by 2022 committee submitted its report on 2018. The committee headed by Dr. Ashok Dalwai is a senior bureaucrat of the government of India and also a technocrat. This gives us 7 mission mode projects with respect to digital technology in agriculture. And one such important recommendation is digitalized agricultural value system, value chain in about 400 agriculture commodities. And in this aspect, today's webinar, Spices Informatics Network Value Chain, is very important. It is very important that this country can facilitate at least one agri startup with IT enablement in every Gram Panchayat. It means that the country can have about something like 2.25 agri startup with IT enablement in the country. It means that agricultural graduates and IT graduates can come together along with agricultural institutions to bring in a game changer situation, a reforms in agriculture sector through informatization. The Soviet University has set up 4 centers of excellence: Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, Center for Informatics, Development Solutions and Applications, and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application. Through these 4 centers of excellence, the Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology, deemed to be university, would like to bring in technologies to the rural India. So today's webinar will have the keynote address by Professor K.V. Peter. He was the former Vice Chancellor of Kerala Agricultural University and former Director of Indian Institute of Spices Research, Calicut. Professor K.V. Peter is born in the coastal tourist village of Kumbalangi in the state of Kerala, and he did his post-graduation and PhD at G.P. Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar. Professor Peter served as Director, World Noni Research Foundation, Chennai, Vice Chancellor, Kerala Agriculture University, Director of Research, Kerala Agriculture University, Director of Indian Institute of Spices Research, Kozhikode, Professor of Horticulture, Kerala Agriculture University, and Assistant Professor, G.P. Pant University, Pantnagar. As a member of Spices Board of India, he interacted with the farmers and industry on various facets of spices and herbs. He was also a member of PAD 99 ISO of Ministry of Commerce. Professor K.V. Peter, just 1 minute, that is, Professor K.V. Peter, is there any voice comes from other side? Please check it out.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that can be stopped. It is getting recorded.
I think Professor can mute his phone.
Yeah. Professor Peter, can you mute this one?
Yes.
Because the voice is coming and getting recorded. No.
अपने वाइस चांसलर प्रोफेसर ए.पी. गर्ग जी से निवेदन करूंगी कि आज के विषय में थोड़ा सा वो संक्षेप में हमें बताएं और तत्पश्चात हम मुख्य अतिथि जी से निवेदन करेंगे उनके
Can you mute Professor Peter? Professor Peter?
It is mute. Already mute.
Yeah, but voice is coming.
I don't know. Some
okay,
other thing is going in Hindi, from Hindi.
Okay. And Professor K.V. Peter served Indian agriculture as a chairman of RAC, Research Advisory Council, Quality Review, and training, etc. for ICR institution. He authored and edited books on spices published in India and abroad. He played a major role in the control of Phytophthora food rot in black pepper. He was conferred Rafi Kitwai Memorial Award by Indian Council of Agricultural Research for contributions to spices research, Dr. Harbhajan Singh Award, Silver Jubilee Medal, Silver Jubilee Memento, Dr. M.H. Marigowda National Award for Processing and Product Development, Department of Biotechnology, and his Sivasakti Lifetime Award and the PNASF National Gold Medal Award for Best Scientist. He served as member of task forces in ICAR, Department of Biotechnology, and the Department of Science and Technology. He guided several students for MSc and PhD programs. He serves as member, academic council in several universities, is a trustee, Federal Awards Trust from 2010. His research areas have been horticulture, vegetable breeding, biometrics, and spices biotechnology. Professor K.V. Peter, we welcome you and we would like to have your keynote address
Thank
in
you.
this very important national webinar on spices informatics network value chain.
Thank you.
And I will present, I will, share the PowerPoint from my side, and I would like to request you to,
Yes.
deliver your keynote address.
Thank you, Professor Mani. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. My respected participants in this webinar, which has a focus on doubling farmers' income by 2020, as decided by our government. And in fact, spices, we are the world leaders in the area of production of spices, processing of spices, value addition. I will come to that. Value addition and world trade in spices. Only in certain crops, China has come into the forefront, but in majority we are. So here I am focusing on spices for health and wellness. My respected colleagues, uh, from time immemorial, even in Vedas, in Mahabharata, in Ramayana, then coming to modern Gandhiji's period, Gandhiji, he used seed spices for many of his ailments or his colleagues' ailment, even his wife's treatment. They used seed spices. So spices basically they are meant for health and wellness. Now when I say health, I mean freedom from disorders. That is what I mean by health. By wellness, I mean you feel comfort. You sleep plan. You sleep, you are able to sleep 8 hours. I mean, the way
Professor Peter,
psychology, yes,
Professor Peter,
psychological effect. Now, before starting it, it is very important for me, it's a responsibility for me to tell you what the government plans to have this COVID-19 free. I have to repeat it, but it is a repetition. One is social distancing. Then second is wearing this cover. And third is washing your feet, your hand whenever you move out. And the fourth part is a very important part, and that is why I am bringing the above three here. Depression is coming up in families. When people, those who are used to go out, and when they are confined in houses, and I tell you, my colleagues, the depression is coming up. And the spices are the best antidepressant. Vegetables growing, vegetables. You have what is called herbal spices. Ajmer is very famous for herbal spices. Haryana is very famous. Coriander, cumin, fennel, fenugreek, etc. And grow them in your wherever it is possible. May not be in acres. Wherever some space is available, you can make use of those spaces to grow vegetables, and that will drive away what we call depression. And in fact, spices therapy they call it in US, or vegetable therapy they call it in US. That is the best treatment against depression, which is very much coming up in our, I think. Next slide, please. Next one, sir. Next one, sir. Next slide. Yes, sir. Next slide. Now, spices have a long history, I mentioned to you. It has a very long history. For millennia, spices were considered the superfood with magical powers. And India was the home of spices, and that is why lot of conquerors came here. Even Chinese came. Then, of course, Portuguese came. Then Europeans came. They all came in search of spices. Vasco da Gama, very recently, 1498, May 20th, he landed in Kapad in Calicut. So historical place where there is a tomb and all those things kept there. Where Vasco da Gama landed, it is worth it. Professor Kandianan is here. He is a very veteran spices expert. As principal scientist, maybe he may have that slide of this Kapad beach where Vasco da Gama landed in search of spices. And before that, the Chinese came, and the India became actually out of Malabar. You know, Malabar, excellent people they are. Malabar king and all those, they received these people because they came actually for trade, not to conquer. But subsequently they found it is a gold mine for spices. And from the 1st to 4th centuries, Arabians developed techniques to distill essential oils from aromatic plants. They were not knowing it. What is all this? What is in pepper? It is called the king of spices. Black pepper, king of spices. It originated in India, in our Western Ghats. I mean Piper nigrum, because in pepper there are many. Those scientific aspects, Piper colubrinum, Piper chauba, Piper longum. Piper longum is a medicinal plant. Piper longum tripoli, we call tripoli, is a medicinal plant. So you have a large number of species in Piper, and but here I mostly refer to Piper nigrum, which is black pepper, otherwise called king of spices. Now, we were not knowing what are those ingredients. So, piperine came into the picture, piperine. And that is what now people say that morning with hot water, you put a little pepper and you drink it. It is very good for cough and also your even for your digestion. Digestion, that part I will come into the picture for the value addition to the food. Now you see, in this part of the country, even in north, I mean, biryani is very common. It's a relished food. And in biryani, the pepper, turmeric, there is no need for me to tell, ginger, and very, very essential it is. It adds value, it adds taste, and people enjoy life. So we have the from the 1st to 4th centuries, Arabians developed techniques to distill essential oils from aromatic plants. Now we are the world leaders in export. There is a company called Synthetes India Limited in Cochin. They meet 60 to 64% of the world demand of spice oils and oleoresins. Spice oils and oleoresins. Color part, pigment part, I will refer little later when I will come to saffron, I will come to turmeric, where we have an element of color, which is really important as an aesthetic value to the food our mother or our home they prepare. For around the 9th century, Arab physicians used spices and herbs to formulate syrups and flavoring extracts. They were all given. At that time, there was no, this type of medicine was not there. Even I know in my childhood, this type of medicine is not there when you have fever. They take ginger. Amma takes ginger and she gives an extract and serve you. So that is what it is. There's a lot of medicinal thing. Next slide, sir, please. Sorry, you can, next slide, sir. Next one. Sir. Now, this is only to indicate the culinary values. The spices have long been prized for their culinary values, and their healing power gave them the rock star status. You see the word used, rock star status in the past. Healing power of spices. And in fact, my dear colleagues, you will be knowing, we have an Indian Spice Act. And as per this Indian Spice Act, we grow about 53 spices. Now they have added 53 spices out of 107 spices. Now these are all little technical, what is called a spice and all those. But in court of law, sometimes we have to explain why rice is not a spice. So spices means, they add flavor, add color, and they are used in very minute quantities of herbaceous origin. There are low definition of what is called a spice and what is called a herb and what is called a condiment. What is called a condiment? There is a legal definition. So we have, mostly they have the healing power, then rock star status in the past. Next slide, please, sir. You can. Next slide, sir. Yes, sir. Next one. Yes, sir. Now, one of history's powerful rulers summed up historical perceptions the best. This is a very, very important statement of Charling in the 9th century. A herb is the friend of physicians and the praise of cooks. As just what he has stated, we have just quoted my friends, my co-authors, very learned from ISR, Indian Institute of Spices Research, Calicut and ICR, because I took their help, and I am proud of them because they chew the history and the archives and go to this. A herb is the friend of physicians and the price of cooks. Cooks means, they. So that is a statement made in 9th century. Next one, please. Next one. Next one, sir. Next one, sir. You see here, the Europeans, spices and herbs are the convergence of three trends which are beginning to spark a renewed interest and demand for the superfoods of yesterday. Now these three things have emerged meanwhile now. The globalization, the globalized economy, the whole world has come one in the matter of trade, and competition has set in. And in that competition, correct competition is well nice. What happens? Many of these spices are, say for example, pepper. Vietnam, we cannot import pepper from Vietnam. But then it goes to Sri Lanka. From Sri Lanka, it comes to India because Sri Lanka and India has agreement for the import of spices. So some sort of thing in problems. I mean, these are all competition, economic competition, globalization, health and wellness. That is the topic on which I am talking. It's an essential part of people who are interested in their body and health and spices. Then science of spices. Now, science of spices, I will deal one by one. What is the science behind some of these crops? Next one, sir. Next one, sir. Next one, sir. Now, the increased globalization is driving awareness and demand for authentic, flavorful, safe, and healthy food. Increased globalization. In fact, our people, our government can achieve this target of doubling farmers' income by really giving emphasis on value-added products in spices. I tell you, the pepper today the pepper is 170 rupees, 75 rupees. But then the oil and oleoresin from that is above 4,000. So you can see the value addition. But the question then asked, whether the farmer is benefited by this. Why only industry is benefited? There is a question. And that is why government of Kerala, very, very nicely they have done. That is called the sharing of the profits. There is a ordinance whereby this type of differences you have to share to the producer, farmers, basic farmers. There is a different part of it, but it is coming up. It is not that the benefit goes to the industry alone. A part will come, that is called a benefit sharing in your market, benefit sharing in the market. Oils, okay. Then we came to globalization, and US favor preferences are increasingly complex, because then ethnic foods, my God, ethnic foods are highly seasoned with spices and herbs. Key differentiation and rising in popularity. Ethnic foods are becoming popular in urban areas. It is getting popular in urban areas due to many reasons. One is they are prepared by clean spices, not cleaned spices. They are prepared, I am repeating this statement, that is clean spices, not cleaned spices. Because this is one segment where there is a full control on the use of insecticides and pesticides. And there was a mention about Phytophthora foot rot by Professor Moni. Phytophthora foot rot, it was called the quick wilt of black pepper. And we had a late Dr. Sharma from IASR. He's a very famous, devoted pathologist. He worked on the management of Phytophthora, and there is a Phytophthora network and so on and so forth. But the management was due to by use of Bodomyster. It was only Bodomyster will not cause much thing, except it is very specific to this group of fungi. So we are very, very careful in recommending. It is actually real organic spices. Spices are mostly because we very rarely use fungicides and insecticides and nematicides. It is mostly biological control. And when I think Professor Gandhi in his presentation, they will be mentioning about biological control of pests and diseases in spices, especially black pepper, cardamom, ginger and all not much, but there is a rot, mostly nematodes. So those aspects will be covered. But I can assure you, compared to many crops, spices are free from pesticides and insecticides. Next one, please, sir. Next one, sir. Next one. Next one, sir. Next one. Yes. Today's consumer looks for flavor. You see, this is a very important. This is a very big survey which has been made with a sizable population size. Importance of menu items descriptors. You see, say morning, you would have taken say upmavu, we call it upmavu, or you would have taken puttu, or you would have taken dosha, or some people would have taken bread and so on and so forth. They all have some ingredients. And in that ingredients, significant ingredients, it is 63% we have spices or spice related. Importance of menu item descriptors. So this menu item descriptors, when you have a menu, people see what are those items. So that is important, 63%, and flavors 55%. 55% we like flavor. If it is not a good flavored menu, and that is why the best food is prepared by Amma, because Amma knows what is our taste and what is our flavor, and we prepare that. Next one, please, sir. Next one, because these are all important. Next one, sir. Next one, sir.
Next step, discount.
This is forecasters today predict spices and herbs along with the fruits and vegetables will be the flavor growth categories over next 2-3 years. It is actually the spices, spicy hot spices and herbaceous spices for the next 2-3 years will have the predicted spices and herbs along with the fruits and vegetables. When you compare with fruits and vegetables, of course the fruits and vegetables are something in bulk, and they have their own properties. They have a lot of fiber, it is very important, and they of course vitamins and minerals, but spices for that matter is different, because the quantity which we use is very little, and then they don't have that sort of calorific value. What they have is that stimulative value, medicinal value, and wellness value. So that is what it is. But still, they say that for the next 2-3 years, this is a survey made. Next one, sir. Next one, sir. It can be quicker. Quicker, sir. Now, the aging US population is increasingly focused on nutrition. Obviously, it is. Obviously, it is. Here in every place, we are not exceptions to it. I am 73, so I have also to be careful on nutrition, and many of our senior colleagues. So aging US population is increasingly focused on nutrition and is using spices and herbs as natural remedies and for prevention. This is a very, very important thing. And that is why the importance has come up very much for ginger, for pepper, for turmeric, for cinnamon, for clove, for nutmeg, for coriander, for fennel, etc., etc. Because they are really laxatives. The problem with old age is one is indigestion, second is constipation. Constipation is when you take a lot of food but not much of water, and then because of that you get a constipation, and the constipation is not good. If you have good motion in the morning or something which old people cherishes, even normal people cherishes, but this type of spices, they stimulate, they they encourage lots of good motion, and so that you feel very comfortable the whole day. So here today's aging baby becomes fed by access to health information on the internet, are taking to an increasing proactive role in disease prevention and treatment through positive nutrition. These are all things which can be explained further. And seniors were twice as likely as any other age group to consume omega 3. Omega 3 is very omega 3, vitamin E, and calcium, and regular users of vitamin C, B12, B complex, antioxidants, and herbal products. Next one, sir. Next one, sir. Can be little faster. So there. Next one, sir.
Yeah,
Yes. We now know that spices and herbs rank at the top of the list as sources of antioxidants in food. This is the antioxidant role. It is actually a biochemical role to make food free from fungi, bacteria, lichens, even viruses and viruses. It is antioxidant role. So that is important. And all these spices which have been listed, I mentioned you 53 spices as per Indian Spice Act. They all have this antioxidant property. Antioxidant property. That is actually what are antioxidants? Antioxidants means the oxygen part which is emitted by parasites, predators, or fungi, bacteria, etc., are absorbed and then thrown out. So that is in a crude way. I am telling chemistry of it is there, but in the crude way, that is how we explain how it is. Next one, please. Next one, sir. Next one. Next one, sir. Next one, sir.
yeah, I
Yes.
said it.
Yes. Now you see the importance of things. One teaspoon of clove. Clove, I think you know clove. We use cloves. Clove oil you get in the market, or clove bits you get in the market, and cloves. It is better than more than half cup of blueberries. That is what is told. Then 1 teaspoon oregano is better than 1 bar chocolate, especially diabetic people. This oregano is a very nice herb, oregano, for diabetic people, because you cannot have chocolate and all those sugar. Then again cinnamon, more than 8 ounces of pomegranate juice. So that sort of a food value, the nutritive value, or that sort of called wellness value we have for almost all these spices. And I tell you, my gentlemen, you go to any of the houses in India, any house, especially in South and all, you will find in the house, no house is there without pepper, without clove, without cinnamon. Because some villages, something happens, some fever, something, then they give them this. Even milk, they add turmeric. They add turmeric milk and they say, they believe it has to be further proved cancer. Anti-cancer, this turmeric, curcuminoids. And curcuminoid is a general term used, but there are specific chemicals which are proven to be anti-carcinogenic. So even children, every day they add little bit of turmeric powder, and you don't feel any change in taste. You feel a color, yellow color is what is there. So next one, sir. Next one. Next one, sir. Yes. And this is a view of the future. What is the view of the future? Ethnic foods, especially spicy ones, namely Latino, Asian, Indian, will be more popular. And the hot dog, people used to say, hot dog, hamburger, Indian food. But now these are, of course, are there. But these ethnic foods, there are ethnic cafeterias in many of the metros. In many of the metros. And in villages, there are house shops where this type of ethnic foods are being grown. So, for example, from where I come, coastal areas, we have homestay. Homestay, you should visit some of these homestay places in Kumbalangi, Cochin. And in that Kumbalangi, Cochin, it is a coastal land, beautiful area. You will see Chinese nets. And using these Chinese nets, they catch fish. And fish preservation is done by adding some of these. That is point number one. Then the ethnic, the country made foods, may not be very, like hot dog or hamburger or things like that, but the local food, which is what we call local food or ethnic food, very, very tasty and very, very clean, because first they use it and then only they serve it to their guests. So that is what. Then as the global natural and clean movement continues to gain stream, spices will be used increasingly in packaged foods and displayed on labels worldwide as a source of good ingredient. Yes, that is why I made a statement. Clean spices, not cleaned spices. This is a government and spices board and all give a slogan. That is clean spices, not cleaned spices. The internet will bring Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine to American homes. You see, India is well known for these Oriental medicines. Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, and tribal medicine. We have Kottakkal. Yesterday I was talking to the senior scientist there, Kottakkal Ayurvedishala, where we go for the old people or young people. They go for some sort of arthritis problem or other deformities. We go to Ayurveda. So in Ayurveda drug, they are all, whether you take churna means that powder, or you take any of these, drugs from Ayurveda, it has a very good component of spices, Ayurveda. Then Siddha is mostly powder, Siddha. Then tribal medicine. Tribal medicine, when you go to Wayanad and all these tribal areas, they have also so many people go there because they have century-old knowledge, which we call traditional wisdom. And in that traditional wisdom, they use some of these herbs and spices. The internet will bring Ayurveda and Chinese medicine to American homes before them. So you can see all these things in Google, Ayurveda and Chinese medicine. But Siddha, many of these are used spices. The green and sustainable mega trend will favor usage of natural spices and herbs. The green and sustainable mega trend. Green and sustainable. This is a very important thing in the protection, environment protection. Environment protection. It is because these are certain things where we don't use too much fertilizer. We don't use even water also, because of course water is a limiting factor now, but we don't use that much in spices. Then only you get to that natural. Basically they were all in forests, and the forests only now they are being cultivated. Next one, sir. Next one. Next one, sir. Okay, now very important area of discussion I am coming into nutraceuticals. Buzzword for researchers, nutraceuticals. And the papers in blue and the title, we searched literature, so many literature connected to spices, and we find the use of the buzzword nutraceuticals these days. Nutraceuticals. Nutraceuticals means they are nutritive. Then ceutical means pharmaceutical, or pharmaceutical word is taken ceutical, and nutraceutical. So that is the recent now trend of spices industry, giving emphasis. Earlier only this antioxidant, now they are giving little, because it absorbs, it stimulates our system to take food. Next one please. Next one please. Next sir. So many are there. The scientists are working to understand the major role of inflammation plays in development of most diseases. Most diseases. And then neurological diseases, pulmonology diseases, cancer I mentioned to you, cardiovascular diseases, Alzheimer's disease, you forget Alzheimer's disease, and diabetes too. This is everyone. Diabetes 2, diabetes 1 is genetic. This is diabetes 2. Then arthritis and autoimmune diseases. For all these, they are called the secret killer by the Times, and there is a lot of emphasis given on use of spices and herbs. Next one, sir. Next one, sir. Next one. Now you see here the multi-beneficial physiological effects of spices. Digestive stimulant, I emphasize this. It facilitates digestion, protection of red blood corpuscles integrity, RBC integrity, cholesterol lowering, then anti-lithogenic, then antioxidant, which has already been mentioned, anti-inflammatory mentioned, anti-mutagenic, anti-cancer mentioned, and anti-diabetic. So these are all attributed to spices, and in a layman's language, our Ayurveda doctors, they describe it. But now a lot of research things are going up, and in India we have the ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research. Then CSIR, they are also having some program. As far as ICAR is concerned, we have this Indian Institute of Spices Research, then National Research Center on Seed Spices in Ajmer, and then All India Coordinated Research Project on Spices, located in many agricultural universities. Then division of spices, there is a division of spices and plantation crops. Actually these spices were put along with the plantation crops, because as intercrop of plantation crop, like coconut, aracanut and all, they used to grow pepper and other ginger and all. So these are our, but basic that medical aspect is being done by the ICMR group. Next one, sir. Next one. There are many. When my time is over, kindly stop it, because lot of slides are there.
Yeah, let us, let us speed up, no problem.
Experimentally proven health benefits of spices. These are all researched, recorded, and published. Lowering of blood cholesterol. Spices, fenugreek, fenugreek. Then turmeric, curcumin, and red pepper. Pepper is so much. In this context, there is a Naga pepper. That is the hottest pepper in the world. It's called a Naga pepper, capsicum fruit. So like that, India is a major producer of chilies. Though they are called a pepper, they are chili. Red pepper means red chili only, because there is a capsicum, capsicum anum, capsicum frutescens and all this. So protection of erythrocyte integrity in hypercholesterol condition, curcumin, capsaicin. Then prevention and cholesterol, curcuma, capsaicin. And digestive stimulant action, curcumin, capsaicin, piperine, ginger, cumin, ajovan, fennel. Then antimicrobial property, turmeric has come up. And very recently, it's a very good development. We have an organization called MILMA, that is a government of Kerala concern to promote milk, so cow milk. And they have entered into a MOU with the Indian Institute of Spices Research. They have formulated a mixture of pepper, turmeric, etc. And then it is mixed with this milk, and that milk is very much value-added milk with the property, because milk has many property. It has protein, it has fat, it has carbohydrate which is needed, and then added with it, and it's a very good development, and which I will show you at the end. Digestion. Next slide, sir. Next one. Next one. Yes, sir. This is what I was referring to, our infrastructure in research. Indian Institute of Spices Research, Kozhikode, you are welcome. And that is the place where Vasco da Gama landed, and that is this institute. And they do a fantastic work. They have some 33, 34 scientists working. Purely their mandate is only on research. No extension. For extension, there is a Krishi Vijnana Kendra by the government, and there is an ethics center and all those things. But otherwise, it's a purely research. And this is the next point which I mentioned to you. All over India, we have programs on spices through All India Coordinated Research Project on spices. We were very fortunate before this COVID came. By January, February, we visited all these centers, and we could interact. Even in Northeast, in Meghalaya, they have a massive program on this. Meghalaya, West Bengal, then Nagaland, then Sikkim. People came. Sikkim we did not go, because Sikkim is very famous for large cardamom, because Spice Board has a research station on large cardamom. That is also worth seeing. That is why Government of India has declared, not because of this, organic state. First organic state in the country is Sikkim, and I was fortunate to visit that many times, and it is a God's land, purely, natural and like that. So this is our strength, genetic diversity. This is the strength. Actually, there was in a Marxist newspaper, Deshabhimani, it is called, when I was working there. Who is the richest man in the country? There was an article, the richest man in the country. And they put Director Indian Institute of Spices Research as the richest one. The very reason is they have the world's largest collection. I repeat this, world's largest collection of pepper. You see? And pepper. Then they have a collection of cardamom. They have a collection of turmeric. That is the main, one of the main activities of collection of Jamla. In fact, my dear colleagues, from India only it has gone to many places. Now they compete with India, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, and all that. But it is a globalized thing, So varietal wealth and improvement, these are certain varieties of major spices released. 120 of them through All India Coordinator. We have a formality of getting some of these released, and some of them registered with the GA and IPR authority. Those are important for farmers, because they get now in Kerala government is distributing money for this particular purpose. That is the benefit they get once they register them, that registered variety. It's a added value. Not only spices, but other across rice also we have. Then evolving high yielding quality varieties of spices. These are some of these. Professor Kandinan will be mentioning in some of these. Next one, next one. Sir, next one. These are all, you see, so beautiful it is. Transforming spice industry, spice varieties to meet market demand. We have all these things there. You have you see, deep colored nutmeg. Deep colored nutmeg. So you have it. Then similarly, cardamom of different sizes, different shape, and so on and so forth. Meeting. So we have black pepper. Now this is the king of spices, I mentioned you. Black pepper and plum pepper. You have white pepper. The white pepper is actually from black pepper. That black outer skin is removed by retting. You put it in water. Actually, in Vietnam, they are very famous, especially Indonesia. Indonesia is known for white pepper. They put these things in the water and in the river, and there was a problem of contamination of river water because it was in guns and guns they used to put. Then conservation of black pepper, gem blossom. Gem blossom means the collection of all these pepper and how it is done. We have these net houses, we have many forms of the cultivar diversity in black pepper, a large number of varieties, Imperian and Karibunda. Karibunda is very famous, Kuching variety. Then released black pepper varieties because we have a process of release. This is a Government of India Ministry of Agriculture release. It has to be, then only they get subsidy and promotion and so on and so forth, and ownership also, because no country should say that it is their own. And we have here, this is a farmers variety. This is also very interesting. Farmers, spices farmers, they are not simple ordinary, they are all very high income group, and they have, by their instinct, they have developed many, and government is giving them recognition. Agadai pepper, Kumbhaka pepper, Palmani pepper, they are all characterized, documented, and they get a GI, geographical indication labeling, they get. Okay, sir, next one, you can be little. Next one, sir. Next one, sir. Yes. Yes. Oh my God. You see this Arakanattu pepper cropping system. Actually, this photograph is from Karnataka, Appangala, Coorg. Coorg, place where many of our army top brass came. And there, even now, this is not old photograph. This is may have been taken about 15 or 20 days back. And I requested, we have Anki Gowda, he is one of the authors of this paper. He has sent me, and you see this wonderful system. That is pepper, then you have banana, then you have nutmeg, and so many things you can grow, because pepper is shade living. Field visits to farmers, because we make field visits to study and interact with the scientists. And Cardamom, that is the quinoa spices called ilaichi in Hindi. The health benefits of cardamom include the ability to aid the digestion, lower blood pressure, increase the metabolism, increase circulation, increase frequency and volume of urination, and also give the body many of the necessary vitamins. Oh, we have three types, that is Malabar type and the Mysore type and this hybrid in between we have. So you see this, those who have not seen cardamom, because maybe in Rajasthan or in Delhi they may not have seen cardamom. So green gold is a farmer's variety, and Vander cardamom, very, these are all farmer varieties, very popular. And now the price went to 4,000 rupees. 1 kilo, it went to 4,000 rupees about maybe 1 month back. Now it has come down to 3,000, 3,000. So it is a very rich, and Spice Board has also a major institute in Mailadumbara, Indian Cardamom Research Institute. Because Spices Board, as per the Act, they have the mandate on cardamom, vanilla, etc. Spices which are not taken by ICR, but they have given vanilla and then cardamom. Because Cardamom Institute, the Indian Cardamom Research Institute, they do very good work there in Mailadumbara. That is a place worth seeing. Very worth seeing. Nedangandam we go, very nice. Then we have this different varieties of turmeric and all those. Next one, please. The color. Next one. Next one, sir. And then turmeric has assumed a lot of importance these days, because of the finding that it can manage cancer. So not only in India, not only in Indian, in other places also. I am dealing in modern medicine, but in our Ayurveda and all, it is already there. It is already there. And in Kottakkal and all those places, the Vaidya is 102 years old, PK warrior. And I mean, their wisdom is, because it's a practical wisdom from a lot of, that is why I mentioned you, mention is made in our ancient literature. Now
Sir, I'll request you to speed up.
Ginger, yes, I have ginger. Sir, you can stop me whenever
No,
I
no
speak.
problem. We'll go through the slide.
Cinnamon. Okay, cinnamon, please. Cinnamon, cinnamon silanicum. This is the bark is used. This is nutmeg. Nutmeg. This is cinnamon. Cinnamon silanicum, and cinnamon oil is used. Cinnamon powder is used. So this is three spices in one. This is called three spices in one. Nutmeg, maize is that cover, that yellow color. It's called maize. Inside that there is a seed, and then you have the fruit. So it is called three spices in one. It is a tree spice. So then cayenne pepper, lal mirch. Cayenne pepper, I mentioned you about cayenne pepper. We have the naga pepper, which is the hottest capsicum fruit sense. And from here you make cloves. My God, cloves are so important. When you go to take classes, we used to take one clove because your mouth, if your digestion is not good, there will be foul smell in your mouth. And when you go for interviews, sometimes you will find. So this clove is very good. A clove is one thing which is very much there. Fenugreek, we have an institute in Ajmer, I mentioned you, National Research Center on seed spices. And in seed spices, many are there. There are 12. Your black cumin, fennel, fenugreek, dill. Dill is again another very interesting thing. Black cumin, then fennel, fenugreek. And one thing also I tell you, it is not only the seed, but the leaf is also used. It is under greens. Recently we have published a book along with one, Dr. Brahma Singh, called Greens, Sprouts and Edible Flowers. So in that greens, many of these are written by Lal, who is the director of that institute. Saffron, this is the costliest of the spices in Kashmir. But now it is being grown in Himachal Pradesh and also in the Cardamom you have some. But the quality, basically it is from Spain. This saffron, ideal saffron is from Spain, but it is in Kashmir, Spain, it is there. In Himachal Pradesh, we have high value compounds and phytochemicals. These are cinnamon and turmeric potential. I have shown what are those high value compounds. Actually, I request next one, please. High value compounds. Then post-harvest management of spices. Many things have come. Cryogenic grinding. Why cryogenic grinding is important? I think you know it. Because there will be no loss of volatile. Normally, if you do grinding in a grinding thing machine, there will be loss of volatile because of the heat generated. Here, no heat is generated. So, drying of fenugreek, etc., they are cryogenic grinding. It's a not very recent technology, but it is now done in spices. We in our institute we have this cryogenic grinding thing. Next one, please. Next one. Yes, sir. Spice mix as an adjuvant for milk and milk products. I mentioned you this. I mentioned you we have a very farmers group, milk, Milma. It is just like Varghese Kurian sir in Anand. They have Amul. In Kerala we have Milma. It was his idea. He has helped. So there he has. Then good agriculture practices. That is safe to eat spices. Good agriculture practices. This is important. GAP. Good agriculture practices we have. Yes. And these are again spices information on critical. Then these are books. And now the left book that is handbook on herbs and spices. It is published by Elsevier, and I was fortunate to edit it. Actually, this was an invitation to the government. At that time, I was there, so they asked me, my DD asked me, Peter, why can't you? We did it. It was covered by BBC because spice route of India. So they covered. Then Indian spice industry stunning progress. That is what we should be proud about the Indian spice industry. In dates alone, one company alone. Then there are many others. But now they have also migrated to China. That is an important aspect. They have also migrated for product. I think there they get a cheap labor, very cheap labor, and many of the things, especially pigments, they have their factory outside. Okay, next one. Next one, sir. Conclusion. In view of the many promising beneficial physiological effects of spices, they have to be considered as natural and necessary components of our daily nutrition. Beyond their role in imparting taste and flavor to our food, research strategies and policy on spices needs a paradigm shift to harness the nutraceutical potential of spices. Okay, so these are all new generation, Next one. Because we had a sitting with this newly recruited group, and our ICR ADG is here. So what is the progress and what has to be done to realize the dream of our Honorable Prime Minister to get to this 2020 double? Sir, now I am at your service, and I request that the PowerPoints which I have given, you can give to anyone who wants it.
Very nice, sir. Thank you very much, Professor K.V. Peter. It was a very insightful address, and you have given a complete background for establishing startups in spices value chain. Throughout the country, wherever the spices are grown and wherever the spices in industries are there and wherever the spices customers are there, both locally and globally. So, under the Atmanirbhar Bharat program, the spices informatics value chain, based on your very awakening as well as an insightful address, is given an opportunity to the young graduates of both agriculture science and computer science and computer applications. They can jump into this value, the value chain, to not only for doubling the farmer's income, but also for information income revolution. And you very rightly said it that this is an area where it is not, it is the income revolution can take place, and it is, that's the reason only we thought that spices value chain is more important. And as the veteran in this field, you have done it very nice job for the youngsters in the country to get into the spices startup. And from the university, we'll be always depending upon you for your advice and guidance, and also mentorship for various startups which we would like to initiate through the digital technologies in spices informatics value chain. Thank you very much, sir. Please stay with us, and all the other speakers also will get motivated for your with your presence. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
And is Dr. Vikram Aditya has joined? Dr. Vikram Aditya? No. Okay, Dr. Mr. Alay Kumar? Alay
Yes.
Kumar Bara?
I am here, Professor Mani.
Okay, so Mr. Alay, the next speaker of this very important session is Mr. Alay Bara. He is the executive director of a very important NGO which is working in this country for the last 60 years, and he is the executive director. And he, before joining ECO, Mr. Alay was the CEO of Reach India. He has an extensive work experience of more than 30 years with the government and the non-profit sector. His areas of expertise include strategic planning, social enterprise development, livelihoods, agri-startup promotion, microfinance, health, participatory monitoring, and evaluation and human resources development. He has worked in reputed international organizations like Freedom from Hunger USA as a country director, America India Foundation as Director of Livelihood Programs and Rashtriya Gramin Vikas Nidhi as Director of Operations. He has also served as a Senior Fellow at the Institute of Policy Studies, Johns Hopkins University in 2001 under its International Philanthropy Fellows Program. In 2010, he was awarded a Ford Motor Company International Fellowship as a community leader. He currently serves as board member in various not-for-profit organizations. The Shobhit University, Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology, and Center for Informatics, Agricultural Informatics, and E-Governance Studies have signed an MOU with ECO to facilitate agri startups in northeastern region in a very effective manner through ECO, the non-governmental organization working in northeast region very effectively. Mr. Ale, I will request you to have your presentation. Please unmute your mic.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you, Professor Mani, for having me in this webinar. And it's really a pleasure and privilege to share about ECO's work. And of course, respected all distinguished speakers and the participant. It's, greetings to all of you. Professor Mani, have you got my presentation?
Later, yesterday's one?
No, today I have sent you. Or probably I can share one.
I just want.
Yeah, so while probably Professor Mani just looks at the presentation, I also have some disclaimer that I am not a technical expert in spices or for that matter in agriculture. So I would like to share more from the farmer's perspective because I'm a practitioner and I have throughout my professional career have worked with small and marginal farmers all over India, but more specifically in the northeastern states. And I would like to bring that perspective from the farmer, but also as a organization, as Professor Mani mentioned, that I have mostly, of course, I worked with government at the beginning of my career, but I have spent most of my time working with not-for-profit development organizations, mostly in the areas of livelihood, agriculture value chain, micro enterprise development. So I would speak more from that perspective. And if I am critical at some time to some of the stakeholder, please excuse me, because I also feel that apart from the opportunities Professor Peter has mentioned, there is no doubt that India spices provides livelihood to large number of people. And if you look at the data, whether it is in terms of production, whether it is in the consumption, export, I think data speaks a volume. Having said that, we would also like to kind of look at specifically northeastern India, and Professor Peter has already mentioned about the Sikkim being organic state and all. So let me start my presentation. Next one, Professor Mani. Can you go to the, yeah. Oh, I will just give a very brief overview of ECO. We are a development organization and we work towards two goals.
Grateful to you. Convert others.
So we work on two core principles, which is securing sustainable livelihood and justice and dignity for all. We play multiple roles. We are a catalyst. We also implement projects in the field. We promote entrepreneurship. We are also doing lobby and advocacy, but also part of the network. As Professor Mani mentioned, we have MOU with Shobhit University, but we also have MOU with various other institutions like IIT and central universities and state universities to work together. Next one, please. What we do, we work in economic. Before that, we work in economic empowerment and mostly agriculture value chain. We work on clean energy, social entrepreneurship and gender, and inclusion cross-cutting. Next one, please. Can he meet?
എന്റെ വീടെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റിയുടെ ജസ്റ്റ് ഓപ്പോസിറ്റ്.
Mr. Ale, that is a
Yeah.
crosstalk.
രണ്ടിതും മറ്റേ ഒരു
No, I am not. Yeah, can you go to the next one, please?
ലൈൻ ചെറുതായാലും മതി, കാരണം ഇവന്റെയൊക്കെ ഒരു ആഗ്രഹം മുകളിൽ വെക്കണമെന്ന്.
Next one, please.
Okay.
Our work aligns with SDGs 1, 2, 5, 8, and 5, 7, 8, and 12, where we feel that we have to work towards no poverty, zero hunger, then of course clean energy, and then of course responsible consumption and production. So these are all linked with our thematics, and we try to see that we try to kind of contribute towards these sustainable development goals. Next.
Professor Peter, can you mute your mic, sir? Peter, sir, can you mute your mic?
I am doing it.
Next one, Professor Muni.
Yes.
Next one, please. Yeah. So when I said agriculture value chain, we work in entire value chain in terms of right from input side to farmers to market side, and of course on the right and left side, as you see, that we work with small scale farmers in terms of providing them training, skill building, access to finance, then of course linkage to market, then also linking them with small and medium enterprises for providing them with specific inputs. And that creates a stimulating environment or ecosystem for many enterprises, specifically as Professor Moni is saying, that nowadays young agriculture graduates or even graduates, because their jobs are not available and they would like to kind of get into agri business. So we facilitate that by linking them with financial institutions, providing them with business development services. And of course, in the process, we have to work closely with the government, private sector, academic institutions, and many other players who are in the ecosystem. Next one, please. I would now come to Northeast. I'll go through quickly, and most of you know, but specifically in Northeast, we grow a lot of spices. But if you talk about the prominent ones, I think ginger come at the top, because we produce a lot of ginger, turmeric, chili, black pepper, big cardamom, and bay leaf. I think these are very major crops, but apart from that, there are many other crops like also grown there. And so 90% of the ginger in the country actually is produced in the Northeast. Next one, please. The Chilean feature or characteristic of that is that they are more natural product. We say organically produced, but I will come to that when we say organically, whether they are certified organic or more natural farming, I would say more naturally produced. Use of pesticides and chemical fertilizer is still very less compared to rest of the country. Larger producer of large cardamom within the country. I think this Sikkim and Arunachal produces this large cardamom. Of course, ginger, as I already mentioned, 90% of the total production of the country. And Lakadang variety of turmeric grown in Assam and Meghalaya is very high in curcumin content, as high as 7.5 and 7. And I think I don't need to talk about the health benefits. Professor Peter has already highlighted the health benefits of that. Next one, please. Again, if you talk about bay leaf, Tejpatta, also very superior quality. And world famous Naga King chili, which is in the Guinness Book of World Record as hottest chili in the world. I think most of you know about it. So that is also grown in some parts of Assam and Nagaland and few other states. In terms of largest, germplasm conservatory for large cardamom in the world. So that's also a good, feature of the northeastern region. Again, as I said, the black pepper is also very naturally and organically grown. And so these are kind of very, very unique feature that we have from the Northeast, apart from the kind of, the freshness, as Professor Peter said, that, it's such a God own country. It's such a beautiful place, but then also the products that are growing more naturally. So there's a double advantage in terms of what we get in the market. Next one, please. Having said all the opportunities and beauty of all these, there is a kind of there are challenges, and that is where I will now talk from the farmers' perspective. That as of till now, most products are sold in the local market, and maybe some products go to regional market. There is no processing facility. So post-harvest management and processing value addition is very, very less. So that's the very big bottleneck. So most of the farmers, when they do not get a good market, they have to throw their commodities. And I am telling you that many years that farmers in state like Mizoram, they don't even harvest ginger because it's as low as 10 rupees, 12 rupees a kilo. So when they don't get the price, that is the kind of condition. There is no value addition or processing facilities available. There is no market. Obviously, that is very interlinked. That since there is no market, they have to give the throwaway prices. The intermediaries go from nearby state and they just look at the field and they say, I'll pay you 5,000. They don't care whether your investment has been 5,000 or 10,000. Also, if many of the entrepreneurs or farmer producer organizations, when they have now started value adding some of the product because they have to kind of get some money, most of the machinery, for example, if you talk about even turmeric boiling or even drying, they are very, very obsolete kind of technology being used. I have not seen so far, except food processing, but in terms of spices, there is modern machine being used by the farmers. That's the greatest drawback in today's world when we have advanced so much in technology. Along with that, I think there is also poor, very operational management and support. Most of the farmers are not trained in terms of both pre-harvest and post-harvest management of spices. For example, recently, we wanted to order, some black pepper. A private company wanted, and when we actually told the farmers and they provided sample, unfortunately because of the COVID and long rainy season, they did not store it properly. So there was fungus and all that. So definitely farmers are not aware about the drying techniques. They don't know about the storage techniques. There is no solar dryer available with them. Sun drying sometimes is very challenging because of perennial rain there in the region. So these are the reasons that is actually prohibiting the farmers to get best of the market and the price. Next one. So as ECO, I think what we have been doing is that we thought that it is better to organize the farmers because there are a lot of small and marginal farmers. They are very fragmented land holding. They are spread in different geographies. So unless you organize them into cooperatives or farmer producer organizations, it is very difficult to reach out to each farmer because of difficult terrain. The infrastructure does not support you. And so that is where we have also kind of, we think that unless we introduce low cost machinery, we don't need very high technology at this moment, even if technology that is, kind of introduced by ICR kind of organizations or other universities or even private entrepreneurs also has not reached. So if those low cost machineries could be also introduced at the first phase, I think farmers would benefit a lot. The third point that I would like to share here is that storage and logistics support. As that is why I said that farmers do not even harvest the product because there is no storage facility. There is no cold storage. There is no logistic support for them to go and store it in nearby district headquarters because the infrastructure is completely missing, and that's the very sorry state of affairs. And that is where I think the agripreneurs or agri-entrepreneurs can play a very important role. And I think with Shobhit University, we've been trying to see how we can actually facilitate some of the new kind of program that Government of India has launched, whether it is startup or skill up. and kind of support those entrepreneurs to link with the farmers so that they can work as a support system for the farmers, whether it is transporting their product to nearby market, providing them logistic support and storage and all that. Yes, linked to that problem is that linkages, also the financial institutions are very, very difficult. If you look at credit deposit ratio in Northeast is very low compared to rest of the country. Banks are not willing to give them loan. They feel that farmers are not bankable. Farmers do not have a business plan. So it's a kind of catch-22 situation, both blaming each other, and there is no capacity of the farmers to make a business plan. So these are all very, very practical problem at that region. The last point about the awareness and assistance in certification, as I was telling that farmers do not even know that they need to certify their product if they have to go and get a better market. And from our side, we have tried to support them, but even I tell you that certification process is quite tedious. We have to get their product from villages to Guwahati, then courier it to one of the laboratories. Either nearest laboratory is available in Calcutta or Chennai or Mumbai or Delhi, and by the time it reaches, it takes 7-8 days, and the product gets spoiled. So always after even investing money, there is no result. So next one, Professor Mani. Yeah. The apart from the laboratories being not available, there is also affordability issue. For example, if you have to taste even half a kg of turmeric powder for curcumin content, farmers have to cough up nearly 10 to 12,000 rupees. So it's very difficult for farmers to pay that kind of price to get their product certified. Forget export market because there is a deficit of surplus, because local market itself consumes whatever they produce, and rest is all wasted. So there is no surplus for export market. And again, for export market, you need to really maintain the quality standard. And most of the times we have seen from our own experience, when we have collected samples of black pepper or turmeric or ginger, they have failed to meet the requirement. The FSSI, I'm talking about FSSI standards, not because that product is bad, but either because of during transportation or couriering to the laboratory, lack of knowledge of how to pack it and send it has resulted in that. So while it has passed in many other parameters, but in many parameters it has not passed, and now we are training farmers on that. But we are far behind compared to southern states like Kerala or Karnataka, where spices has grown so much, and that has become a big industry. I have already said about unorganized farmers and all that. So we need to really kind of organize the farmer producer organizations. Next one. Yeah, so we have to really kind of now organize markets, quality control laboratories, training for farmers, development of low-cost, portable, efficient dryer and larger cardamom and all that. I tell you that I have actually asked Professor Mani to kind of scout for a training, online training for farmers during COVID period for storage and drying of black pepper and all that. And I am again being very critical now that none, including Spice Board, is not able to give us a module of 1 or 2 days. Spice Board said, yes, they will give training, Northeast region. They are very understaffed. So they said they can only give in November. How long farmers can wait? When you have made a request in August, they can give you the training in November. I have also requested Professor Mani. I think he also sent a request to many of his network. But the problem is that we do not even have available training module online for farmers during COVID-19, how they would store. Forget other things. So that being the state, I think we need to really take a note of it and see how all stakeholders need to work together. Now I would just take few minutes. So despite all the challenges, we have promoted a cooperative of in fact farmer producer company of 700 women farmers in Gwalpara district. They are currently producing 30,000 kgs of turmeric with all machineries and all that. So under Government of India's program called supporting fund for scheme for regeneration of traditional industries, called Fruity. We have got 2 crore sanction for infrastructure, machinery, and quality control. And hopefully in next 6 months, the infrastructure will improve. These 700 women not only would benefit in terms of increasing their income by 30 to 40%, but also they will be able to rope in another 12 to 1300 women farmers, and all of them are women farmers engaged in turmeric cultivation. And so that would be a kind of very good step. But again, as I said, that it takes a lot of time. Same thing for the king chili in Nagaland. We have with support from Ministry of Donor Development of Northeast Region, we have supported the farmers for king chili. The story is the same, that due to non-availability of the power, even if we have got a better machine for them, they only one shift also is not able. They are not able to complete. So the problem is sometimes when you bring the machine, there is no power. When you have a power, there is no machine. So it's a very difficult situation. So same, we are trying our best to see that we take the product of the farmers, introduced in the regional, national, or even export market. But there is miles to go, because standard, the skill are much below average than the national standards. Next one. So it's not about only the market linkage or technical support or skill building. We are also kind of working with different stakeholders to do advocacy for policy reform, because most of the programs that government has are not actually reaching out to last mile farmers. So with Shobhit University also last year we organized this policy reform national conference where we invited very major stakeholders, including senior officials from Government of India, and we just highlighted these problems. And now we are also doing, following it up on that. There are some kind of impact on that, but we have to work, and participants, organizations, if anybody is available, would like to join our effort, we would welcome them, because the policy changes doesn't happen all of a sudden. It takes time. But we need to keep our effort on. And I thank Professor Mani to continuously follow it up, and raising issues in national seminars and webinars, so that the farmers actually get benefit from it. Next one, please. We have also launched the app for farmers in Assam. It's Krishi Bandhu, which is like farmers friend. So it's a very simple app, where we are talking about soil testing, market, the crop cycle, and everything. And when we have taken to the farmers now, we wanted to first target 2,000 farmers. But I am sorry to state you that yes, farmers definitely feel that this is very good app for them. But we found that small and marginal farmers do not have an Android phone. So we are not able to enroll till now 500 farmers against 2,000 target. So these are again very practical difficulties. This webinar is about informatics and all. So while even 500 farmers who are being enrolled, their connectivity, the kind of network is so poor that if you are sending them information, you have to again call them to say that I have sent you information. They said it is not downloaded. So it's in a multiple level there is a problem. So while app is being very handy, the farmers are facing problem. So there are various initiatives going on. I would like to request all the esteemed speakers, they are very resourceful, to kind of join us and to address some of these problems, so that ultimately the farmers need to benefit. With that, I kind of thank again for kind of patient hearing. And if you have any questions, I can take at the end of the all sessions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ale Bara, the Executive Director of ICO, for your very nice presentation, bringing out the complete SWOT analysis of the spices value chain in the Northeastern region. For the viewers of this program, ICO is a very strong non-governmental organization working at the grassroots level. And also Mr. Ale Kumar Bara is a very effective executive director working with farmers in the Northeastern region from the 18 slides which you have seen during his presentation, he has professionally presented, brought out the problems very effectively, and Northeastern region needs a large scale of startups in this, spices sector, and you can take it whether it is for Dumchar or King Chili or Satyavati. These are all needing large scale value chain, digitally enabled value chain, and he's also come out about 11 areas where challenges are there, and this is where that all the respective stakeholders should be in a position to bring out the value chain. Thank you, Mr. Alec Kumar Bara, for your very important presentation to this value chain. Now, let me. I would like to welcome Dr. Kandi Annan. He is a principal scientist from Indian Council of Agricultural Research, Indian Institute of Spices Research, Kozhikode, Kerala. He is now at present, he is on deputation to the government of Fiji as the spices expert under Indian Technical Economic Cooperation, ITEC, of the Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. Dr. Kandi Annan, he graduated from Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, Coimbatore. He has got more than 25 years of experience in spices research. He has co-authored books on organic spices and gingiberosiol, crops, present and future, cardamom, ginger, turmeric, and others. And third is on ebook on spices and condiments. When I requested him on the advice of Professor K.B. Peter, even though he is 12,000 kilometers away from Delhi, and we have been talking for the last 24 hours to, as to, how he can be connected. And today I'm very happy that he is with us. He is online from, Fiji Island, Suva. And Dr. Kandi Annan, I would like to request you to make your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Is it audible? Am I audible to
Yes,
you, sir?
yes, very much, very much.
Okay, sir. I am present. I am operating my slide myself. I already shared.
Okay.
I hope it is there in the screen.
It is
Isn't
there.
it?
It's very much there.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Very kind of you all. Honorable Professor K.V. Peter, former Vice Chancellor, Kerala Agriculture University, our spice father of the country. In fact, I was under his directorship for 9 years. In my formative phase, I was with, he guided us. He served in several committees in the spices.
Dr. Kandi Annan, for stopping you for a minute, he was also considered as the wealthiest person as when he was the director of Indian Institute of Spices Research. Not only the father of spices science, but also is the wealthiest person as the director of Indian Institute of Spices Research. Please carry on.
Very kind-hearted person. In fact, he only recommended me to you to have this presentation. Thank you very much, sir. And Emeritus Professor Mani, and other panelists, Mr. Alai, and other viewers, welcome to my presentation. Thank you for the opportunity for the organizers. My topic is spices in medicine and human health. Already, Professor Peter sir highlighted several spices, health and wellness. He has highlighted the strength of spices in this aspect. And Mr. Alai also very good, he delivered a very good talk on challenges faced by the spice farmers, particularly in Northeast. So in my part, I will contribute my part. Oh, what is this? So actually the spices, you know that spices, it is a plant products, either it's a green or dry or raw form or powder form. It is mainly used for seasoning purpose. That is called spices. It is considered as high value, low volume crop. And mainly it is used for, these are the four primary flavoring, that is for aroma, pungency, deodorizing, and masking. and coloring. These are the four primary functions for which spices are used. And as per International Standardization Organization, 109 crop plants recognized as a spice. But however, in actual terms, more than 200 are available. Even ISO is updating the list now. In India, under Professor Peter sir was mentioning, under our Spices Act 1984, 52 spices we recognize under Spices Act. And already Professor clarified spices, herbs, and condiments. Spices, in fact, he used to always say spices are divine crops. He mentions wherever he goes, he mentions spices as a divine crop. It is mentioned Vedas, Bible, Quran, and other literatures. And it was initially used as embalming. It was in Egypt, mummies, to preserve the dead bodies. It was used as embalming additives. See, this was the two roots, spice trade. As early as 4,000 years back, it started in the Middle East. See, this blue color is spice root, and the red color is a silk root. These two trade routes are very famous in the history of trade. In fact, these Arabian traders procured the spices, sourced the spices from Asia Pacific region and supplied to the Europe. It took almost 5 years from the ship like this, and the caravans, camels, they carry this to this. It took 5 years, and they never revealed the source of origin of the spices to the European consumers. The one point of time, the supply they stopped. So spices were considered as royal commodities. It was used as a currency. It was considered as more precious than precious metals like gold and platinum, etc., etc. So that much value were attached to even the handful of pepper used as a rent. A single nutmeg used to buy a cow. So that much value were attached to the spice. And again, the professor mentioning about, see, in fact, so when the Arab traders stopped the supply, they were in search of spices. So that's why all this navigation started, exploration started. In fact, Columbus started this trip, but unfortunately in search of India, land of spices, but he landed in America. That's why the original native of Americans called Red Indians. Then finally, as Professor mentioned, Vasco da Gama, who landed 1498 in Calicut, that beach, Kapad beach, till he mentioned about Tom Pandal. So he is a man, Vasco da Gama. Then of course, Ferdinand Magellan, he took a round. So at the time only that strip industries in Lisbon, Portuguese was developed. So to encourage to find out the source of other materials. In fact, European knows the spice before tobacco, sugarcane, coffee, tea, potato. They know spices before all these commodities. So this exploration of Europeans found out the origin of spices in different places. For example, India, our cardamom, queen of spice, black pepper, king of spice, all and ginger and turmeric in Asia, Indo-China border. So these are origins. So each spice has its own origin. Maybe chili. See, now India is producing a leader of pepper production, that is chili pepper, but its origin is South America. Like that, each spices has its own origin. See, again, the different parts of the plants, from root, rhizome, bulbs, stem bark, leaf, flower buds, flowers, so seeds. So different flower parts used as spices. There are different parts. Unlike, and what are the industries where spices are used? See, important end-use industries are food and forage industry, processed meats, fish and vegetables, soups, sauces, chutneys, dressings, cheese and dairy products, baked goods, confectionery, snacks, beauty products, hygiene products, aerosol, and pharmaceuticals, of course. And as already Professor said, see, apart from allopathy, India, we have a strong Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, homeopathy. In all these, one or other spices are used, particularly in Ayurveda and Siddha. See, in our body, as per our Ayurveda concept, there are three dosas, that is energy cycles, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. It is there in our human body. It should regulate, or it should equilibriumly circulate. See, Vata is mainly found below the navel region, Pitta mainly between navel and heart, Kapha energy cycle is between above the heart. So these three energy cycles should be in a balanced form. Otherwise, we will get a sickness. So for this, the spices is much helpful. He is a B.M. Hegde. He's a famous cardiologist, former Vice Chancellor of Manipal University, and he's a very famous man. He studied in London, but he now advocates our Ayurveda system is the best as per his understanding, and wherein spices is the component. See, this is a as he was professor was mentioning, this three-headed Suranam, this to balance the Pitta, Kaba, Vada, this dried ginger, dried black pepper, dried long pepper. These can be powdered and made into a pellet form. If they consumed regularly, it will keep you in a young or in a balance without any, infection or disease. And see, this Scientific American 2007, they published Spice Healer. The ingredients in curry powder shows promising for treating Alzheimer's, cancer, and other spices. There are several literatures. Actually, I'm taking several courses. See, there is a dental care. They are offering dental continuing education courses. So herein, again, they have mentioned the powerful therapeutic spices in medicine. This article, it's all, most of things online available. See here, as professor, when we had a tea take, we use the clove. We chew the clove or put 2 drops of clove oil. So, like that. So they also emphasize the importance of spices. There is a book. James Duke. He's a prolific writer, like Professor Peter. He's also a prolific writer and an economic botanist. He published a book on CRC handbook on medicinal spices. There are several publications on spices, medicinal application of spices. Again, there is a Bharat Agarwal based in USA. He's a biochemist. He also written several publications on healing of spices. There is several publication books. And again, the molecular targets and therapeutic uses of spices as a modern uses for ancient medicine. Again, his publication. So a lot of books. So this is Medical Journal of Australia. Again, Peter was highlighting about antioxidant property of spices. Their special publication brought out health benefit of herbs and spices, the past, the present, and future. Herein, see the antioxidant properties of spices as given. So in which the clove, Syzygium aromaticum, it is recorded the highest antioxidant activity, 460.3 millimole per 100 gram of clove. So this is again, it's given. Again, the University of Florida in its extension publication, the shopping for health. Again, it's brought out herbs and spices importance. See, there is a book called Foods to Fight Cancer by Dennis and Richard, 2005 published. They put the global cancer incidence. See, some of the advanced countries, there are a lot of cancer incidents compared to other countries. So here, what they say, they related the spice production and consumption in relation to cancer incidence. They have found that wherever the spice consumption, production consumption is there, the incidence is less. And again, this is again from Agarwal publication. This is also available in ResearchGate. See, spices for different human ailment. It is there for cancer treatment, pulmonary disorders, and cardiovascular. There are differences. Again, neurological disorders, spices are available. Metabolic syndromes, there are spices, different spices. And it is available in the online, sir. Gastrointestinal disorders and skin disorders, there are spices, basil, bay leaves. There were, again, autoimmune disorders, the list of spices available. And the infections like bacterial infection, fungal, cold, again, there are spices. And inflammatory disorders like allergies, arthritis, again, there is a spices listed. He listed the spices. Other disorders like alcohol abuse. See, for example, when you consume alcohol excess, Japan, they brought out the turmeric drink. When the overbooze, if you take the drink, it will reduce the booze. So like that, there are several spices made into different products. Again, it was mentioned by Professor also, the medicinal property of spices. Each one has its own role. See, for example, common used gingers for colds, it is used for colds, anti-emetic and anti-rheumatic. The turmeric used for anti-arthritic, antioxidant, and anti-cancer. In fact, this ginger, the spread across the globe, though it is originated from Indochina border, it went to Europe. From there, when the European moved, in the ships, they carried that to control the anti-emetic, that is vomiting sensation, to suppress the vomiting sensation. Ginger was carried in ship. That's why ginger spread around now. More than 40 countries grow ginger. See, again, when you get rheumatic pain in the knee, So you just bound the ginger, tie it in the knee, keep it for overnight. So that people feel that it reduces. So like that, there are several properties. Again, the medicinal properties, like cancer preventive, antimicrobial, already I listed. So there are spices for different medical conditions. There are spices available. And again, as see, again, there are each spice has its unique chemical compound, alkaloids. For example, turmeric has curcumin already, and there are several other components. More than 80 components are identified. These are some of the. Each spice has its own unique. For example, allspice has eugenol. Black pepper has piperine, already it's mentioned. So each spice has its unique alkaloid, unique chemical structures. And now that's what the nutraceutical, they're exploiting this unique chemical compound to target the disease causing organism. Again, there is a book called Chemistry of Spices. It contains all the chemistry details of spices. See, now I'm focusing on turmeric because this curcumin is much researched component to suppress the disease or to cure the disease. So this is a chemical structure of curcumin. And it has different components, as already mentioned. This is a chemical structure of its components, for example, alpha termerone, beta termerone, termerone. So different structures, chemical structures. And there is a publication by Journal of Traditional Complementary Medicine, biological activities of curcuminoids, other biomolecules from the turmeric, and their derivatives. A review. This is again a review. These are latest reviews. See, curcuma is now gaining importance all over the world as a mighty cure to combat the variety of ailment. This ailment already we anti-inflammatory, hypocholesteremic, choleratic, antimicrobial, anti-rheumatic, anti-fibric, anti-venomous, antiviral, anti-diabetic, anti-hepatotoxic, anti-cancerous, insect repellent activity. These are the activities for which turmeric was again for human. See, again lungs, brain, intestine. Oh.
I think the connection is, having a problem. Please wait for a minute. You'll reconnect. I'm talking to him. Yeah, right. Yeah, please. He is reconnecting. Please wait. So I think Dr. Kandianan is speaking from Fiji Islands. There is some internet problem. He is reconnecting. Professor KB Peters, it is. Please unmute yourself till since let Dr. Kandianan connect his system. I think it is it's a very important points which has emerged today from your presentation, and also Mr. Ale Bara's presentation, and so far what Dr. Kandianan has made a presentation. I think it's very important that in view of its importance of it is from wellness point of view, from health point of view, and it's spices informatics network value chain is emerging as a very important tool for networking all the spices farmers, very effectively. And you also brought out very nicely that even government of Kerala has come out with an ordinance for sharing the benefits, from, of the farmers, of the industries with the farmer. Hello, Dr.
Sir, shall I
Karthikeyan?
shall I continue my
Yeah, please,
presentation?
please, carry on.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
No. It's
The slides are visible, sir? Slides are visible? Sir, slides are visible? I think slides are visible, no? Sir, yours. I think
carry on.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's a target. See, lungs, brain, intestine, liver, microbial infestation, kidney, and nerve system, heart. So all this thing, the turmeric, curcumin biological activities are targeted. And again, it is combined with other metals to increase its bioavailability. So for anti-cytotoxicity, it is combined with ferrocinal, axo-vanadium complexes of curcuminoid, and ruthenium arena complexes, and copper-based complexes to control the anti-cytotoxicity. Similarly, neuroprotective activities, it is combined with magnesium plus turmeric. Again, the American Association of Naturopathic Physicians, January 2000, they have come out with the publication, 10 health benefits and uses of turmeric curcumin supplements. It is again available in web. See, again, from the Los Angeles-based medical and aromatic plants, they also come out with publication in 2019, I think. The improvement of curcumin bioavailability for medicinal applications. There are a lot of research going on. Again, there is a curcumin, a review of its, this is again in 2017, effects on human health. See, the conclusion is curcumin has received worldwide attention for its multiple health benefits, which appear to act primarily through its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. Its bioavailability is enhanced when it's combined with fibrin, that is a alkaloid from pepper. The Journal of Traditional and Comparative Complementary Medicine come out with a review article, curcumin, an age-old anti-inflammatory and anti-neoplastic agents. See, they have highlighted mechanism actions of curcumin in anti-inflammatory and anti-neoplastic and the index of apoplastic signals. So there were works on how the curcumin acts, and the clinical trials also going on. And again, when you consume excess curcumin, these are the effects: gastrointestinal disturbances, inhibition of sperm motility in vitro, inhibition of cathepsin synthesis, iron chelation, transient rises in liver enzyme, suppression of platelet aggression, and contact dermatitis. So these are the adverse effects when you consume over. So conclusion, most recent advances regarding curcumin use have extended possibilities of its use in therapy. Again, the nano formulation, whether we can administer through nano formulation. Again, there is a publication, and so they have reviewed the history of use of curcumin from history to latest, and it's spread to across the country, and different pharmacologic effects and therapeutic targets of curcumin. It is given in the publication. Again, the different cancers: cervical, colon, head and neck, pancreatic, breast cancer, and the doses and route of administration and what is the result. This also they reviewed very critically, and they published it. Again, the nano formulations combined with the different aspects, for example, PMSA antibodies, liposomal, so different combination of nano formulations. So here, the nanotechnological interventions play a consequential role in converting this old age remedy to an age-old solution with the amended curative index. So again, there is another important publication by critical reviews in food science and nutrition, chemical constitutions and biological research on plants in the genus Curcuma. They also reviewed critically. See this drug protein interaction with the curcumin, how it critically reviewed. This all model based on the models they studied that, and conclusions: multiple bioactivities and safety profile of curcumin prove that the genus Curcuma is potential source for lead compound identification and novel drug discovery. Again, the frontiers in microbiology, they have also highlighted anti-infective properties of golden spice curcumin. See, antiviral activities, antibacterial activities, antifungal activities, and again the nano carrier systems. They have the model and different systems how to deliver bioavailability of curcumin in the human body. So concluding is the further research is required to fully understand the curcumin's mode of action and improve the formulation to make it a usable drug. And again, pharmacology of curcumin, there is a book available. See, here, the British online health food store Healthy Supplies announced that their sales of turmeric have dramatically increased by 765% over the past 2 years. And European import of curcuma in the volume increased from 11,000 tons in 2014 to over 19,000 tons in 2018. Again, in America, you see, this is the New York Times publication. What are the benefits of turmeric? It is October 2019, the published. Here also they highlight that in 2018, the products racked up an estimated $328 million in sales in the United States. Yeah, more than 7-fold increase from a decade earlier, according to a report from the Nutrition Business Journal. So that much demand for turmeric. Again, in the 2020, these are some of the forecast studies, allied market research. They have again the forecasted turmeric for this rhizomatous spices, ginger and turmeric. There's a bright in 2026 also. This is a forecast. Again, see the turmeric products. I just compiled from the Google. Just I crisped or shortened into them. So see turmeric oil, turmeric drink. This is what I was mentioning to reduce the alcohol effect. Turmeric tea, turmeric paste, and turmeric oleoresin, turmeric milk, and turmeric herbal soap. Again, the turmeric face soap, turmeric face and body cream, pure curcumin. This is a pure curcumin. The curcumin paste for horse, that animal drug, and curcumin capsules. See, these capsules, now it is a capsule form, it is available. You can consume that. Again, this is a turmeric face cream. This is a turmeric complex with the metals. This is a ghee, that is a ghee infused with the turmeric to make it yellow color. And again, turmeric oral spray, body spray also it is there. Again, the turmeric juice. There are several products. See, turmeric ginger XLRs and a combination of these metal combinations. See here, interestingly, you see each company say turmeric, triple strength turmeric with curcumin. Curcumin advanced, high absorption curcumin. See the catchy, attractive things, advertisements they keep in their bottle. This is mind, body, and spirit. Curcumin, faster. So see, these are the products available in the market. If you search Amazon, see this is. If you go to Amazon, these are the products available in the turmeric and the curcumin. Again, see, even Corona also, they say some people are funny or interesting. There is a solution with if you consume turmeric, it will reduce. See, again, Fiji, they produce a natural. There is no organized cultivation of turmeric here. It is grown in the wild form. So farmers collect and sell it to the traders. They will mostly they export. It goes to America. There is a great demand in America for Fiji grown organic turmeric. There is no organized concern. There is a company called Fiji Turmeric. See their sale price, 170 gram, that is 6 ounce. They're sold in $45. You think that the quantum, but what farmers will get, they will get hardly $5, $10. So very fewer. That's what the gap. So the networking and the market linkage, it should benefit that the similar situation like Northeast. So in conclusion, spices are important in human health and medicine since ancient times. Still, it will be there. It should be there. The demand is increasing, particularly for organic spice, or because spice, the intrinsic quality should not. We should capture that. If you go for inorganic fertilizer and synthetic or pesticides, so sometimes it may mask its original quality. So intrinsic quality you should capture, and more research is required for enhancing biological activities of the spice compounds for health benefits. And that's all. Thank you very much, sir, for kind spacing and kind opportunity. Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Peter, sir, for recommending me to be in this session. Thank you. Grateful, sir, Professor Emeritus.
Thank you, Dr. Kandianan. And it is now maybe at 7 o'clock at Fiji Island.
Yeah. It is 7:30, sir. It is 7:30.
Your presentation is very important, and which now makes us that from the Center of Agricultural Informatics and E-Government Research Studies, and Center for Agribusiness Disaster Management Studies of the Shobhit University, and the ECO in Northeast region. It makes us that we have to bring in an organized, digitally enabled value chain. It's an important
true,
thing.
sir.
We have to network farmer. The last slide which was shown, that even Fiji Island, the ginger, which it is going for $45 for 170 gram.
Yeah,
And the
170
farmer is
gram.
getting less than $5.
In USA market, in USA.
In USA market, and the Fiji farmer is getting $5, less than $5. I think this is, India can gain a lot from having all the farmers, if they're bringing under spices farmers producer organization, each commodity wise farmer producer organization and processing capabilities, and bringing all the stakeholders. This is where I would like to request the father of spices science and the richest person of the spices one who made, and Professor Peter, and he's going away to attend an important call, but he's listening. And it's a very important thing to bring in, all our, youths in various part of the country to get into spices, agri startup in a very big manner to work with the farmers. Thank you very much, and please. Please, get associated with our centers of excellence with the Shobhit University. This is the first center in the whole world to establish Center of Excellence on Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Government Research Studies,
and
to train agricultural graduates and IT graduates to get into IT and agriculture. And thank you very much for joining. And I'm very happy that Dr. Vikram Aditya Pandey has now joined.
Yeah, our honorable ADG also here. Yeah.
And he was supposed to be the second speaker. And since I welcome Dr. Vikram Aditya Pandey, and yesterday till up to 12:30, today early morning, we have been talking to each other, sending messages. And today he is up for a conference. That shows his affection towards the Shobhit University, Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology. And we had the presentation of keynote address by Professor K.B. Peter, and addressed by Mr. Ale Bara. He has brought out his issues from Northeastern region. And now I will request Dr. Vikram Aditya Pandey, the Assistant Director General, Horticultural Science, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, Department of Agricultural Research and Education, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, Government of India, to have his address, maybe of shorter duration. And Dr. Vikram Aditya, please.
Once again, namaskar. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, audible.
Yes, you are audible.
Oh, namaskar, sir. Mr. Vice Chancellor Kumar Shekhar Vijender ji, my very most senior most and most respected Dr. K.V. Peter, sir, Dr. Mani, my senior colleague Dr. Kandiyandan. Because of this conference only yesterday evening we started chatting over the WhatsApp up to late hours. I thought that there will be overlapping our presentations, but we could somehow avoid this. But again, there could be some overlapping, but just to introduce the subject and to bring in more interest in the deliberations, I think we can tolerate this some sort of duplicity. As you know, sir, that the spices sector during this COVID-19 pandemic, it has picked up like anything. And as our forefathers had thought that the spices are very important, this in under Indian conditions, no festivity goes on without adding many spices, and that is where the importance. Sorry.
Is a share your presentation, share screen.
Okay, sir. But sir, somehow my screen has, maybe I don't know what is the problem. Is it audible, sir?
You sent your mail, sent through mail to me.
No, through mail only. I had logged in through mail only, nothing else. I don't know. Maybe there is some things because 2 times I logged in and then immediately it is logging out.
No,
I don't know what is the problem.
Escape, then the side that screen, Zoom screen will appear. So there you can share it.
You have a screen, green screen, share screen.
Yeah, it came up. So during this period, our exports have gone up. More than 20% exports have increased.
Dr. Pandey, your screen is not coming here.
But I can see everybody. I can see you also.
No, your presentation. Your presentation.
Okay.
The share screen. You open your presentation. Give a share screen so that.
Correct.
At the bottom, it will be there. Share screen.
1 minute.
It is
now is it visible, sir?
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So we are looking at the ICR, including the Indian Institute of Spices Research, the ICR, National Research Center for Seed Spices, and along with that, there is one All India Coordinated Research Project on spices, looking after the location-specific research and development issues on various spices, perennials, and as well as the seed spices. So we deal mainly with the technology support to the stakeholders with respect to development and recommendation, notification of different high-yielding, good quality, pest and disease-resistant varieties, along with the matching production and crop protection technologies to improve the productivity, to improve the quality, so that the so-called, I will say the so-called, I will come in the last and explain why, the so-called the doubling of the farmer's income or the increasing the farmer's income. You know that India is the land of spices, and we have almost about 3.5 million hectares area under various spices. There is a big list of spices. There's some of those, around 20, come under the mandate of R&D of ICR and ICR organizations, and rest of the things are being dealt by the Spices Board. I tell you, only yesterday, day before yesterday, I had one call from the American news agency to discuss something about the asafoetida as well as many other spices. So I'll not be touching upon all those things. So with this spices sector, we expect that there will be around 3.19% increase in the trade, and that will lead to around 18 billions of 18 billions of rupees, equivalent to 3.5 billion US dollar export in the 2020. This you can see the diversity of spices. Why I have given this this one, Indian Institute of Spices Research, that sitting at the ICR headquarters. I am only managing the affairs, supporting the institutes in different in the form of getting budget from the government and allocating to the institute, reviewing and supporting the in terms of policy matters. So I have given the whatever I received from the institute, as such I am projecting, giving full credit to our institute of seed spices as well as the Indian Institute of Spices Research. So this is the range of diversity in different spices like ginger, turmeric, black pepper, cardamom, and then cinnamon, etc. Then nutmeg and all these things. In the recent times, we have come up with some of the high yielding as well as the high quality varieties like this in case of turmeric, Megha Turmeric 1, ISR Pratibha, of course, old variety. It is the national check for evolving most of the turmeric varieties at presently at national level. Then this one ISR Pragati, Suranjana, Roma, all these varieties BSR2 from the state university. Then the specific features of Megha Turmeric 1, you can see identified in the northeastern region of Meghalaya. Megha refers to Meghalaya. The curcumin content is 6.8% roughly. And you know, as Dr. Kanjanan sir just presented, the quality of the turmeric is mainly this one covered by the curcumin content in this. Along with this, it is tolerant to leaf blotch and leaf spot disease. Second variety is ISR Pratibha, evolved by our institute at Calicut. This variety also contains this one high curcumin, around 6.5% plus, with average yield of around 39.39 tons plus of the rhizomes. Along with this, it is good in quality aspects also, like 16.2% of oleoresins and 6.2% of essential oils. This is new variety ISR Kedaram. This again, little bit early, 210 days crop duration. Dry recovery is 18.9% and the yield is almost 35 tons per hectare. Curcumin content, anything above 5% is considered as better variety in terms of curcumin content. Then there is one variety, Roma, developed by Odisha University of Agriculture and Technology. This variety is further high yielding, 40 tons per hectare, with curcumin content of 6.6% plus and oleoresin content of 13.2%. Then again, the dry recovery is more, 31% dry recovery. Now, in case of this turmeric, again, ISR Pragati, it is with short duration, around 6 to 7 months crop, with 5% curcumin content and this one high yielding. Then this has been released again another variety, Narendra Haldi 2, with high duration, but yield content is yield is a bit high, 35 to 37 tons. Evolved at Narendra Dev University of Agriculture and Technology, Ayodhya now. Curcumin content is bit less, but it has got location specific adaptability for Uttar Pradesh and Bihar conditions. In case of ginger, very recently we have come out with very high yielding varieties ranging from almost 11 tons per hectare to 22-23 tons per hectare, like Suprabha, Suruchi, Surabhi, ISR Varda, Mahima, Rejata and Himgiri. These are suitable for cultivation in different agroclimatic conditions across the country. The oleoresin content ranges, this one from 4.5 to almost 10 plus %. Essential oil content similarly is good, 1.9 to 2% across the varieties, because they have got location specific adaptability, and that is why these are being recommended for cultivation in different agroclimatic conditions. In case of black pepper, ISR Girimanda, ISR Malabar Excel, newly released varieties, ISR Panchami, ISR Thevam, have been evolved. These are some of the quality parameters of the black pepper varieties like Panur 1, Srikara, Subhakara, Panchami, Paurnami, Malabar Excel, ISR Tevam, and Grimunda. With respect to pinene content, sabanin content, myrcene content, limonene content, and beta-caryophyllene content. This is a comparatively new crop for research, and recently we have come out with two improved varieties of nutmeg, that is ISR Vishwasri, with high nut and maize yield. Quality aspects are also very good, almost high myrcene content. In nut it is 12.48% and in maize it is 20+%. Oil content in nut is 7% plus, in maize it is 7% plus. Yield, maize yield is 480 kg per hectare and nut yield is almost 31 quintals per hectare. This ISR Keralasri, it has been evolved through the farmers participatory grazing program with recovery of almost 70% in this nut and maize percentage approximately 35%. This has got maize yield of 15 quintals and nut yield of 75 quintals per hectare. When it comes to seed spices, we deal with coriander, fenugreek, cumin, ajwain, what Dr. Kandianan was speaking about. The center at the ICR, National Research Center on Seed Spices, is taking care of all these things at Ajmer. Along with that, we have got the All India Coordinated Research Project on Spices, located across the country in different states to take care of the location-specific standardization of production and crop protection technology. We have come out with this very good varieties like Hisar Bhumit, Hisar Sugandh, Pant Haritima, and RCSS Ajmer Coriander 1 and Ajmer Coriander 2. Then this one Ajmer Coriander 41, 446, 684 with different quality parameters, improved yield. Similarly, the pest and disease resistance has also been equally emphasized in our breeding programs, and we have come out with CO3 variety, that is powdery mildew, wilt, and this one grain mold tolerant, as well as one more variety that is Sadhana. It is tolerant to whitefly, mite, and aphids. In addition to the development of improved varieties, the R&D efforts are equally directed to standardize the production technologies for open conditions as well as this low cost protected conditions. And you see this off-season leaf coriander production for leaf purpose. Earlier, say around 10 to 15 years back, even it was not possible to even think of having coriander, green coriander leaves around the year. Only for say 4 to 5 months it used to be available. But now whatever we are getting the green coriander throughout the year, literally, and this fenugreek leaves for different purposes, especially paratha purpose and this curry preparation. It is available now around the year. We have come out with variety also LCC 234 for off-season cultivation. And recently, sir, we have come out with soilless cultivation of coriander under Andaman and Nicobar Island conditions, because this to cater to the tourist need, because you know this Andaman and Nicobar is almost this one a tourist place for most of Indians, and around the year there is demand for this different snacks in which coriander forms an important part, and we have come out with production technology that to soil less, both under protected as well as open conditions in Andaman and Nicobar. So this is low cost with 50% shade net. This you can go for round the year production of, especially summer season, within 45 days. You know, this recently in some of the meetings, our Honorable Prime Minister emphasized upon developing varieties as well as technologies for short duration varieties of different vegetables as well as spices. In addition to this coriander and fenugreek, we have come out with short duration varieties of some of the leafy vegetables for information of the house only. With around 30 to 35 days or at most 40 days crop duration, we have come out with varieties as well as production technology.
Dr. Pandeyji, you
Yes.
please quicken, please.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Try to finish it as well as possible.
Okay, very good, very good.
Because time limit.
Cumin, one of the very important, this one crop of export from India. This Gujarat cumin 4, almost it occupies 70% of area presently. It is resistant to fusarium wilt with yield of almost 12.5 quintals per hectare. And the special feature of this variety is no seed splitting. Then again, in addition to this, we have come out with some of the varieties with high essential oil content like Gujarat cumin 3, Gujarat cumin 2, and then RZ 341, then RZ 222. All these varieties we have come up. Then in other spices also like fennel, Gujarat fennel 12. This has got a specific feature of synchronized maturity of the umbels. Then in fenugreek also lime methi 3, Hisar Manohar, Narendra methi 2, different high yielding varieties. Then this to reduce the cost of production, we have come out with the low cost and technology with efficient technologies with low seed requirement, as if this one planting material production in case of black pepper as well as this ginger and turmeric. You know, this 5 gram single bud instead of the normal practice is 30 gram rhizome size, but this technology with Rotary Planting, even 5 gram rhizome size is sufficient, and this way, and specifically the seed cost, we can reduce the seed cost by almost 70%. Okay, the same thing, Rotary Planting, and so this one under protected, partly protected condition. Lot of technologies with respect to integrated pest and disease management have been developed. I'll just this one. Then delivery system. This one, especially this capsule technology for delivery of the biopesticide, trichoderma pesticide in the root zone of the plants. So this capsule technology we have come up. This technology has been licensed also to different stakeholders. Similarly, in case of black pepper, this again capsule technology we have come up, and this technology has also been licensed to different organizations for upscaling and catering to the stakeholders. Similarly, for ginger also, this technology has been upscaled and commercialized. This is only one one photo to show that we are popularizing and this uprising the most this one top most authorities. Because you know the quality aspects are very important with respect to spices. So many technologies integrated cropping system along with the organic package of practices involving the bioagents, biocontrol agents like trichoderma and pseudomonas have been developed and commercialized. Just to show the integrated cropping system of spices, this system gives almost 10 tons per hectare potential productivity of different spices. This is another point. To increase the total system productivity, this coconut nutmeg system in Pollachi, Tamil Nadu, it gives almost 50,000 per hectare additional income to the stakeholders. This total, this one ginger intercropping and different intercropping systems, ginger yield equivalent you can see, and net income also similarly this increases like anything. At home scale also, under this different crop management practices in vertical garden system, homestead gardening system also, spices play a very important role. Then, okay. Then the technologies are also taken to the farmers field to improve the productivity as well as this profitability of the stakeholders through this one production and popularization of this one. And then mechanization has been taken up in a big way in these spices, including the this one drying of the ginger, turmeric, and all these things using the solar power. Then this is this plant material production value chain, just to add value chain to different stakeholders. Fertigation system we are taking up to the this one stakeholder through different training and demonstrations. So what are the key elements in the value chain? That is the community nursery for introduction of genetically improved varieties. That is one aspect we are looking about. Then skill development on good agricultural practices. Involvement of women folk in the production of this spices. Then small scale machinery at household level or farmhold level to enhance the quality as well as the reduce the labor requirement in this one. Then strengthening the group and community action by the farmers, this farmers producers organization, and then through the this one media intervention and mobilizing the popular support. This we are doing at this one our institute level. Okay, this is one special lady farmer doing this ginger farming. And in this different seed spices also, we can see this one farmer from Jaudan Center of this AICRP on seed spices in Banaskantha district. Gujarat Fennel one, this one 5,000 kg it was given, and then this one around 2,000 kg of certified Gujarat Cumin Pure 4. The certified and truthfully labeled seed was this one produced by the farmer, and that way he got around 5 to 8 lakhs additional income than the regular one. As far as increasing the farmers' income through the technology support as well as policy support to the farmers, I would like to say here that the institute definitely we are working day and night to provide technology support for enhancing the productivity, enhancing the quality, overall quality, and then post-harvest handling, processing, and quality aspects. In addition to this, there are cases that our cost of production sometimes is a little bit higher side, and there are cases of increasing imports from abroad, and that way we are also giving this one riders in formulating the policy to the government to minimize the import so that our export can be enhanced and our especially the domestic market can be enhanced. to increase the income of the farmers. Just to conclude, I will say only one thing, that in the era of so many freebies, free electricity, free power supply, free pension schemes, free food, and even this free mobile data, many more things. Raising the productivity and raising the production may not actually help in doubling the farmer's income. Rather, suitable policy support, ensuring the fair prices to the farmers, will play a crucial role in doubling the farmer's income. With this statement, I would like to conclude my talk. I thank you, Mr. Vice Chancellor Sahab, Kumar Shekhar Vijendra ji, my most respected Dr. K.B. Peter sir, Dr. Mani sir, my senior, Dr. Kanjiyandan is here, and all the participants of this webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to conclude. We are here at the ICR headquarters, as well as along with the institute. Whatever support, R&D support is required across the country, we'll be too happy to listen from you all and give our support to you to taking the in taking the cause of spices sector forward and enhancing the income of the stakeholders to say. Namaskar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Vikramaditya Pandey ji, for your very nice presentation, and also the on sustainable technologies available from spices for doubling the farmer's income. And this will motivate the development of agri startups in spices area in a very effective manner in all the in all the districts where the spices are being produced. And you also very nicely said it that when we have various policies on free educations and free food and so on and so forth, when these spices products are fetching a highest price in various developed countries, why can't Indian spices, when India is a land of spices? And and it is, we have to do that. And the doubling the farmers' income by 2022 is a real mission and a vision for India. And we, from the Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology and the centers of excellence exclusively established for technology-driven agricultural informatics and so on and so forth, and agriculture marketing, we would like to take your help and expertise and to develop the startups in spices sector for helping the young students from the agriculture sector and engineering background and the biology students to come up in a very big manner. Thank you very much for your very inspiring address. And even though you had a big schedule in the morning, and our association let it get deepened the days to come. Thank you, Dr. Vikramaditya Pandey ji. Please stay with us.
I take permission to leave because our EFC meeting is going on, so I just take permission. I want to take permission.
I thought that
Thank you so much,
the Chancellor of the universities are there. Just for 2 minutes, you please stay. I will request the Chancellor of the Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology, Dimtub University, and Soviet University, Gango, Kanwar Shekhar Vijendra ji, to give his valedictory address.
Thank you very much, Professor Moni. First of all, I must congratulate and compliment everybody who was able to spare some time today to discuss on an issue generally which we avoided from last many decades. We never talked about how to double the income of the farmers. We were talking about productivity, we were talking about processing, we were talking about policies, we were not talking how the last man and the main person, Annadata, will get benefited out of it. So I was able to listen to Dr. Vikramaditya Pandey as I joined late due to some engagement. I had one more seminar happening on national education policy, which is very promising, and our local MP was with us, Shri Rajendra Agarwal ji. So I missed, and which I would like to go through the recording. Professor K.V. Peter, thank you very much for being with us, a former Vice Chancellor, a former Director of ICAR, IASR. Dr. Vikramaditya Pandey, I was able to listen to you. Thank you very much. And it was really wonderful to listen to you. Our colleague, Mr. Ali Varha, I'm not able to see him, but I believe he is there. And most important, Dr. Kandinan from Fiji. As Professor Moni must have mentioned, Shobhit University has taken a task. We have 4 Centers of Excellence, and out of those, our Center for Agri-Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies has taken a task that the knowledge which has been created or which we are creating in our universities, it should go to the last man. As Honorable Prime Minister has mentioned, from lab to land, everything has to go. It will go when people like you, they will come together. Today, I'm happy that far from Fiji to Kerala, to Northeast, to the heart of the country, Delhi, we all are sitting together and discussing on an issue which is very important. That how this country, as Professor Moni just mentioned, a country of spices, can put some more spice in its network. How we can develop, how we can activate the people around, how we can work together so that the last man, the people, those who deserve, who desire, and who aspire, and who are actually working for the nation, they get benefited. And to benefit them, we need technology to intervene in all our agriculture, in all our sectors. So at Shobhit University, agriculture informatics is one area where we are working. And in agri-informatics now, Professor Moni is trying to find multi-branches. One of that is Spice Informatics ecosystem we want to develop. A cluster we want to develop where we can work together. And Professor Peter, as you have just joined, we will like your contribution there, because you are not only a land of God, you are coming from a state of spices. However, the people are not that spicy. They are sweet. They are very humble. They are the most generous people I always meet. But we have to come together. Pandeyji, I do not know from which part you come, but you must be coming from here and there, nearby only. Pandeyji हैं तो हमारे आसपास के ही होंगे.
बिल्कुल मैं समझता हूँ ईस्टर्न यूपी से हैं हम सर.
मैं वेस्टर्न यूपी से हूँ, आप ईस्टर्न यूपी से हैं, तो एक जोड़ है हमारे बीच में भी. तो we need to work together, and we will work when, as Dr. Pandey was mentioning, that policies have to be there. Actually, with policies, implementation has to be there. Process of implementation of policies, we all have to work. And we will work when private, government, everybody will come together. What our labs are doing wonderful job anywhere in the world, which is concerned with Indian ecosystem. They have to integrate. Because in universities, since last many years, what was happening, we were disseminating knowledge. In labs, what was happening, they were creating knowledge, and we were not working together. I'm happy that from Fiji today, you were able to join us. Thank you again. Why I'm telling you? Because your roots are somewhere here only. In Fiji, we will find so many people, those who have roots coming from Eastern UP, coming from Bihar, coming from Jharkhand, coming from Chhattisgarh, and they desire to give back to the society. They are willing, more than willing, that I should be able to contribute and how I can contribute. I'm sure that this effort, what has been initiated by all of you today, it will give a platform to all of us to fulfill our aspirations, to empower our nation more effectively, to work together so that we can fulfill the vision and mission that yes, we can double the income of our farmers by 2022. I always feel very pain when somebody comes to me, sir, we have only a small holding, and why don't you take my son as a PN in the university? It has to be changed. Farmers have to be empowered so that if even small holdings they have, they can do wonders. They can get rich. They can get money. And that is possible when all these ecosystems will come together. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you, Professor Moni, for inviting me. And I'm sorry again that I was not able to listen to Professor Peter, Professor Dr. Kandinan, and Mr. Alay. Definitely, I will go through the recording and I will love to revert back myself and I will love to listen from you how we can work together to empower the nation. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Chancellor of the University. And just to brief that the speech of Professor K.V. Peter and Mr. Ale Bara here, Professor Peter has given a complete, insightful, and awakening speech to enlightened youngsters to get into spices startup in a very big manner. Followed by Dr. Mr. Ale Bara, he has presented the action plan for Northeastern region for various value chain, because Northeastern region is one of the organic region which can produce organic products. Dr. Kandinan presented a very effective address speech, and he has even brought out that an organic ginger from Fiji is being sold for about 170 grams, $45 in US products. But whereas the farmer in Fiji Island gets only about less than $5. So, and when India is a land of spices, and where many of the regions are bringing out, the organic nature of producers of spices, and he also very nicely said it, all the three speakers and all the four speakers brought it out that our health system, our wellness system is emboldened and strengthened by these spices, ingredients. And this is an important thing, that this university, through its centers of excellence, they would like to drive, these two centers of excellence and the other two centers of excellence on technology would like to drive, technology-based startups in agriculture commodities, that is numbering about something like 400 agriculture commodities in the country. And we are also working on at least one agriculture commodity digitally enabled, one in each district of the country, which comes about something like 715, digitally enabled agriculture commodities value chain. And spices informatics network value chain is one of the very important one in view of the COVID situation. That I will request Professor K.V. Peter, Dr. Kandianan, Dr. Vikramaditya, and Alay Barai, he is our close associate who has signed an MOU with the university to work with us. And we would like to work together to bring in as many number of, as possible, the number of, spices informatics startup in the country for bringing in the income revolution to the spices farmers of the country. Thank you very much for joining this very important webinar. And I also would like to, join the next week, Thursday at the same time, 11 a.m. by a very important topic is that Londana camera, a camouflaged treasure trove. It's, it's available in the country, raw material available, but it is a nuisance value, but it can bring in large scale, wealth to the people, tribal farmers, and self-help groups, and it can bring out not only in medicinal value, but its leaf, its flower, its seed can give medicinal value, but the stem can bring in, very good furniture. So please join next Thursday at 11 a.m. for on this important very topic. It's being, addressed by very eminent scientists from ICAR and also from Kerala, from agricultural universities and, and NGOs working in this area. Thank you very much. Good day.